Right then, hello, willkommen, bienvenue. Time for another Armis Inquisition, episode 325 on Sunday, the 14th of April, 2024. I'm Phil.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Matt.
And we're very happy to be joined for his hat trick, his third appearance on the podcast, David Stig Hansen. How you doing, Stiggy?
Yo, pretty good. I guess I better mute this. There we go. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me back. Yeah, third time is the charm. Third time for everything. Third time. Well, okay, I want to go back to Angkor Wat and do a third trip there. But I got back to the Richat Structure for the third time, and now I'm on your show for a third time.
Do you find any aliens this time?
No. No, I'm not into the well. I got back home and I opened my cupboard up, and of course, yes. But no, not in Africa, not in my five country trip. Sorry, just in case I'm not so happy. I broke my tooth.
Oh.
So I'm all serious.
Man.
I'm all serious. Yeah, I got these shattered pieces of tooth in my gums right now. And so if I had to put on the funny hat, and just in case we get one shot of this, if it's noon, so it's allowed. What is this stuff? The wild geese, Irish soldiers, and heroes. Have you ever heard of such a drink?
What a great name. Can you get that in the UK? The wild geese and the
it had a
Templar
cool
soldiers.
box.
Sorry, go on, Steve. It's in a cool box.
Oh, nothing. I'm ready to take a shot. Actually, no. I want to try to stay. I wanted to try to stay happy, because I was all serious yesterday. Later on, when I screenshot, I'll show you what I've been up to. Been doing a lot of carpentry. Oh. But before I was gonna try to do this, and I because I've been traveling, so I got all this stuff in my hand. But I was gonna do all my haters video. You know what those are? Because
like
Ben Franklin. There's this new show. It's Michael Douglas trying to make us think that Ben Franklin had hair. I don't know if you've seen this or not. I don't even know if it's Netflix or whatever, but it's like we've got Michael Douglas. And first of all, I have a hard time. I know what Ben Franklin looks like because I've got the cash, man. To all my haters, I want to do the all. Look, I mean, come on. He doesn't have no hair. Look at that. He's bald. He's bald.
Is that
okay?
Is that from Monopoly set, or is that real hard?
No, this is the real dude. All my haters. I was gonna get a bigger stack, but I got to go by the bank to
What's
get that.
In English pounds? About 15, 20?
You guys are a little higher, and then I have all my traveling money. I decided I'd pull that out. I got even some euros. You guys don't. You guys did the whole Brexit, so you don't do euros anymore. Nor did you ever.
No. We
yeah. You see, this is a smart thing. This is what proves Europeans are smarter. The $5 bill is tiny, and so a blind person can figure out what money is in their hand. But we have it all the same size because we're just spend.
You're just a bunch of crazy goofballs over there, Stig.
What we are? What crazy goofballs?
Yeah.
You trying to set me up? I don't want my people to come down on me. Okay, I'm putting all this money away.
Who's hating on you anyway? It's not Jimmy, is it? Not Corsetti, because he's
I'm
always
good
in a flame war with
you want to go
someone.
there? What? Jimmy and I are good.
For now.
I just thought. Okay, first of all, I did lose 25 pounds. Right? Okay, I can't say that 20, and that's about. I'm almost 100 kg. I'm a little heavier today. So last time you saw me, I was 244 pounds.
Wow.
And now I'm 220. Okay, 222. And so the reason why is because I went and saw Jimmy at CPAC, and I didn't want him to see me looking like a bloated pig. And so I went on this. It's called Peel the Pounds Soup. You cook that up and eat that for a week, and that took like 10 pounds off. And then I just stopped eating altogether. No, I eat. I got your Haribo. By the way, with my broken tooth, this is pleasurable. I can eat this stuff right here. So this is my dinner until I go see the dentist tomorrow. I think I'm going to go see a dentist tomorrow. We're going to work on that.
Cool.
But yeah, I figured I'd just smile and say everything's going great. I do feel really, I mean, especially, have you seen my last video on the trip? So if you don't know about my last trip, I went to Spain first and visited a friend, and then wanted to get down to Morocco, wanted to go to the Rock of Gibraltar. I wanted to go to the Pillars of Hercules. I wanted to see this S for myself. And so I did it. And so I felt really accomplished. I mean, even though I spent too much money. I mean, that was accomplishing spending too much money. I came up with some cash, and I said, okay, I'm going. And now the cash is gone again. So
what did you think?
I'm working on paying for my next trip right now.
What did you think of Cadiz, Stig?
Pardon?
Cadiz. Did you go to?
Oh
Cadiz?
my gosh! And by the way, okay, so top secret. Yeah, I did a little short. Okay, so what I did was I did a long 16-minute video on the whole trip, and I was slowly working on these shorts for each little area. And Cadiz, I mean, come on, let's talk about Cadiz. I mean, Plato talks about Cadiz in Critias, does he not? So Cadiz is linked to Atlantis, is it not? Am I wrong saying that? I mean, are you guys good with the whole Critias story? Should we pull it up? He mentions the Gadieris or Gadiz or Cadiz. Yeah. It seems like you guys just muted. Are you guys muted?
No. Can you hear us?
So silent. We should get some background noise, some music going.
Are we quiet?
Some clinking. I'll just get some clinking.
Fine. Yeah. We've heard of Cadiz, and it's one of the oldest ports probably in the entire world. It's sometimes called Gadir in the old sources, and it was an old Phoenician outpost as far back as recorded history goes. And they probably stopped in Cadiz or Gadir as they were coming up to our neck of the woods, up to Cornwall for their mining tins, and they probably had ports in Cornwall and settlements in Cornwall as well.
The same meridian, right?
Yeah.
Kind of straight up. The oldest city in Western Europe for sure. And like you said, probably much, much older. And let's just be honest, it's right there by the Pillars of Hercules. I mean, there's got to be something to that. It's inside let me pull my map open, but is it on the other side or is it on the inside of that whole thing that Hercules did?
I can't remember if it's east or west. I want to say it's west of the Pillars, but I'm
just slightly west. Yeah. But I'm just trying to remember if it's, because the way the whole place is shaped, I'm looking at it now, and where is it? Yeah, it's way, way outside. Wait, what am I doing? All right, maybe I'm just looking at it. I didn't even realize. Why can't I find it right now? It's actually not the southernmost point of Spain. The southernmost point of Spain is Tarifa. I learned that too in my little trip. But I'm just no. Well, where is it? It's way out there. I'm lost again. Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, I guess it's way west of it. Anyways, yeah, I was stupid when I went. One thing that you want to do before going back to the Eye of Africa, or if you go for the first time, is download all the frickin' maps onto your phone. So you're not relying on GPS, because it'll never, ever focus in on what you want to see. And I was so dumb. I made a lot of mistakes, but it was my third trip back. I can talk about that later. Looking at ancient stuff, I mean, from the ground, you can see the ancient quarrying in the. I went to the middle of the Eye of Africa to where, Randall Carlson said there were churn outcrops in this structure being quarried by somebody hundreds and thousands of years ago. He said 1.2 million years ago. I don't know where Randall Carlson got his numbers, but I mean, and that was a big structure. Later, I can share a picture, but you're talking about a big, huge. It's not just people getting axe heads. It's like major quarrying going on over there. But we were talking about Cadiz. I don't want to change it. I'm really pissed that I can't find it. There it is. I see it now. I can't believe it wouldn't pop up a minute ago. It's way, way, way up the little. It's so funny because just being there, when I was looking at it, I guess I was looking closer to Gibraltar. I didn't even get to the cave of Michael. Did you guys all go to that? Who went to Gibraltar? Matt said you did.
I've been over to Gibraltar, but I only went to a shop.
It just muted it out. I didn't hear the second. You've been to Gibraltar at what?
Yeah, I only wandered over the border and back when I was in Spain.
Right.
On my own. So.
And I had no idea that it's a BOT, right? British overseas territory.
You have to go through customs.
And just like Jamaica. And so I had to show my passport. And, it's funny. I used a lot of the Google to get hotel rooms at the last minute. I'm a real last minute type of person. Not much planning goes on up here. I mean, I kind of got a great deal to go to Spain. $300 one way to Barcelona from LAX.
Wow.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, that's good though.
I'm thinking, okay, I'm down. But the problem is the return ticket. I didn't really plan that out, and so I paid top dollar for it. And that was actually from Mauritania through Paris, through Canary Islands, through Paris back to LAX, and that was like 1,200 euro. It was like a little bit less than 1,200 euros. So that was a last minute deal. That was a stupid move on my part. Should plan stuff out a little better. If I had originally booked it from LA, sorry, I don't know. Do you guys know where I live? I live near Coachella. Coachella's happening right now.
Yeah, the festival.
And yeah, we've got our Palm Springs International Airport. I was looking at a ticket to Spain, $600 round trip. And I was like, man, why didn't I do that? Because I got this mentality in my head. I lived in Taiwan 25 years. I've got this mentality in my head that I got to go from LAX. Oh, got to go from LAX. Check Palm Springs. It's an international airport too. Same price, $300 each way. So I do want to go back like ASAP. I want to be back in Europe this summer would be great. I got to make sure I can pay for it.
Where in Europe do you want to come? Where do you want to go this time?
I want to go back to Spain. I loved it. I want to go back to Cadiz. Okay, so I don't really mention it, but I got sick in Morocco. Okay, so I landed in Barcelona, went and visited a friend in Logroño, northern Spain, and then went down through Madrid, and I was headed towards Gibraltar. I wanted that shot. I wanted to see the Pillars of Hercules from the ground. So I went there. I went to Morocco right away to the other side. I rented a car. I drove around for a week, but I couldn't go very far south in that car. It was actually, I got pulled over 3 times. I paid technically a fine once. I'm glad they didn't drag me in, haul me in for something. I wasn't even speeding. It was a bogus charge, but whatever.
Best not to argue.
And so I checked out the other Pillar of Hercules, Jebel Musa, or Mount Moses. And so I don't know. You can check out the video that auto plays when you go to my channel, and that it would be at Stig, by the way, for those of you who aren't going to stay tuned until I show you my channel. But yeah, there's so much to talk about more than just my trip, but that's what I just did, and I forgot all about it. I literally put it aside in my head. I did that video, and I did a few shorts. I've been going crazy with the shorts, by the way, ever since CPAC. When did we last meet and talk?
It was about 6 months ago.
I don't know.
There's a little more than that, because I was starting to get like, oh, those guys, they don't want to talk to me anymore. No, it was October. I went to CPAC, and that was CPAK is Conference on Precession and Ancient Knowledge in Rancho Mirage in the Coachella Valley. By the way, so Palm Springs is at one end of the Coachella Valley, and the city of Coachella is at the other end, farther east. So when they talk about Coachella, it's a city, but it's also my valley. And so I had to go see Jimmy. I had to pay the $500 for that ticket. It's like, I'm not going to sit here and he's down there. And Jimmy spoke during CPAC. Right. Jimmy went there. And Graham Hancock, by the way, who I no longer am angry with. Like, we got to cancel out the whole Graham Hancock. He's a good guy. But no, there's a lot of, I don't want to start. I don't know.
Was Dave?
Do you pay attention to any of the drama that goes on? Because there's a lot of drama, like between Randall and Graham and all that stuff. It's all weird.
Jimmy seems to be a bit of a drama shaman, doesn't he? Just sort of
I didn't say anything.
Drama.
Well, the thing that I wish Jimmy wouldn't do so much is get off the ancient history topic. He's like involved in politics. He was just on the Roseanne Barr. He did a video. He did an interview with her. Right. He was so he's a celebrity, and he will. I'm Team Jimmy, and hopefully he's going to go to the Richat Structure soon. I think that it's coming soon. Maybe I can finagle my way into that trip.
Well, that's. I'll tell you, when the last time we spoke, it was before Jimmy did a video and referenced some of your stuff and shouted you out, didn't he? And so your channel got a massive kick.
I've met him a couple times now. I met him when I was 244. I met him when I was 236. I'm looking forward to 222.
Life goals.
I met Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock 3 Easters ago. And then I met Graham Hancock again at the CPAC, and I'm like, Graham, we got to talk about this Richat Structure, and he's like, not interested. I'm like, Excuse me, sir.
Well,
did you see that ancient? I'm sorry. Did you see the Amish Inquisition podcast or something? What's going on here? No. And then he's like, I said, what about the canals? What about the freaking quarries? He's like, not interested. So I got to get someone to get him to watch I don't know. I mean, and I honestly, people aren't ready. And beyond the Richat Structure, the rest of the world, all the stuff that I can show you, it's nobody cares. So I know the truth out there. We've going back a long time. I mean, 23, so many numbers in my head. I was just looking at somebody just said 25,000 years ago. It's South Africa. Some lady, I got a screenshot of it, is the last person to speak her language, which is 25,000 years old. That's not so hard to believe, I guess. Where was that? Here it is. Zu Katrina Esau is the last South African who speaks the ancient Khoisan language, which is thought to be over 25,000 years old. So we've had civilizations that are way older than any of the Cataclysm, which I think is 15. I'm sorry, now I can't remember any numbers. 12,800, right? I mean, so that's like the Cataclysm number. That's like the Younger Dryas event. I have a master's in business. The reason why I got interested in ancient history was because I was teaching international trade, whatever you call that. And there's several ways you can look at that topic, but I was like, okay, when you start teaching any topic, you want to have the first class be the history of, like I did marketing. So I always did the history of marketing. So I'm like, what's the history of international trade? That's like an impossible question to answer, especially when you look at what mainstream has to offer. He's like, because you don't really think of the city-states, Greece, as doing trade, but and the Pillars of Hercules is a great landmark for international trade. But as far back as I could go with mainstream was right in the middle of Africa, 70,000 years ago. I forgot the name, some 4-letter tribe that was there for like 70,000 years and then just disappeared, right in the center of Africa, right where all this stuff is that I think is ancient mining in general. And I think I'm qualified to say that with a background in business.
Absolutely.
And teaching English in Taiwan for 25 years. So I did a lot of setup lectures and stuff. So I was a lecturer in university. That's my qualification, is I wanted to present stuff, always with the aspect of teaching English as a second language to Taiwanese people. I hated teaching kids. I was in rooms teaching kids while the other teacher, the co-teacher, would grab one of the kids out of the group that I'm teaching and whip their diaper off and start changing the diaper right in front of me. And so basically, like, there'd be a certain time of the day that all the kids got their diaper changed in the room. So I've taught all ages, but I was a university lecturer for many years. So teaching English to them, you had to come up with some good info. And I was also doing special projects. So I would always do the ancient history and make them think outside their box, because let's just be honest. I don't know. You know any Taiwanese people?
No.
Taiwan is not China. But, and we've got all this. Don't get me started. I'm a conspiracy nutcase. This whole China's going to attack Taiwan thing is a setup. It's going to probably happen now. So I'm worried, I almost went back to Taiwan last week. Remember?
We nearly didn't do this.
A commitment. I didn't go. And then suddenly the earthquake happened. I got to go back for something. I got some business over there I got to take care of.
What did you make of all that hubbub over the eclipse last week?
It was confusing. So I got confused with the vernal equinox. People were talking about me. Yeah, the vernal equinox, blah, blah, blah. So I got really confused. And then there's talking about totality this, totality that. I'm realizing, damn, maybe I should have. I feel like there's always an eclipse somewhere in the world, right? I mean, of course, not 24 hours a day, but 12 hours a day, there's an eclipse somewhere in the world, right? Maybe not that either.
Every couple of years, I think.
So it's only because it went over the United States that everybody got excited. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I did try to watch one in Taiwan, and I kind of captured it. It was a partial eclipse, and I don't know. Apparently, you don't need to wear the things over your eyes when the eclipse is actually happening. It's just before and after the eclipse that you have to wear them glasses.
Don't take medical advice from this podcast, listeners. YouTube police.
Well, do you remember it happened here? a while ago, didn't it? And it wasn't a total eclipse where we live in the UK. But I personally made the decision, although I wouldn't recommend it to other people, to look at it as a partial eclipse, and it was fine.
So, How long? How long did you look? The whole time?
No,
just
not the
a
whole.
glance.
Yeah, glances, a few seconds.
You
here
don't
want to
be doing that partial eclipse. It's like, oh no, what is that? 33% partial? Or
I don't know.
50%?
I can't remember. It was pretty.
Your
close
eyes are.
It was a pretty close to a full eclipse. I seem to remember
90 something, wasn't it, in Cornwall in '99?
Was it? Is that when it was?
Yeah,
I can remember it. Yeah, we've all looked at the sun, haven't we, and survived by accident.
Exactly. And by the way, I've got other stuff going on with my eyes. I ain't worried about no hole in my retina, but that's just me. Yeah. So no, I'm out in the desert. So that's why I'm wearing these glasses right now. You don't even want to see my eyes right now. They're horrible looking. It's morning. I got up at 2 a.m. I went to bed early, but I've been working my butt off. I totally forgot about ancient history. You got to keep me on track. Where were we? Cadiz.
Well, speaking of eyes,
Cadiz is beautiful.
Speaking of eyes, what about the eye of the Sahara, Stig? That's where you've just come back from. What did you? Oh my gosh, that's like a horror movie.
You don't want to see those. It is like a horror movie. So the Eye of the Sahara, I went back for 2 reasons. I went back, and I should share the screen, but I'd like to do it without the share. I'd like to do the talk and keep my hands to myself and not have to. Sorry, keep my hands off my mouse. The Eye of the Sahara is still there. It's not going anywhere. That's for sure. I went back right into it to see, like I had said. Did you like my Randall Carlson impression, or should I do it again?
I did, yeah.
There are chert outcrops in this structure. And I went to the chert outcrops. So the first time I went there, I went to what I think we can call fortifications, French military, French foreign legion. Well, it's the French military. Maybe there were some foreigners. Everybody was a foreigner because they were in Mauritania, for crying out loud. I don't know if it was French foreign legion. I assume it's just the French military built those structures. We got the castle, which is the very first thing that ever got me. When Jimmy pointed out the castle to me, he pointed out that Herodotus was referencing something called Atlantis tribe next to the Atlas Mountains. That was the one thing that he did in 2018, and that piqued my interest. Right? I'm like, I had no idea this could have been Atlantis. And then I had already been looking at the eye for a while, but he piqued my interest. And then he's like, and what's this, a castle? And I'm like, what the F is that? It had perfectly straight edges. And so I had to go there. So I did go there. And that was the first trip. And so that was one fortification. Okay, later on, Atlantis Together, the guys that took the drones and did the 3D scans. Their website's down, so it's a shame. I don't know if we can still access those 3D scans they did, but they went and they got the castle. They were there like just a few months before me. I even still have the video up where I'm like, I got the castle, man, I got it. And then like that night, I found their video. I'm like, oh man, I wasn't the first one. And so those crazy guys walked from the center east like 7 kilometers to get to fortification number 4 and 5, and I went there too. I drove around, and that was when I was so close to those chert outcrops. That was back in 2022, January 2022. I was right there by the chert outcrops. I had heard Randall Carlson make reference to that saying there were chert outcrops. People were quarrying there for hundreds of thousands of years, but I didn't realize where he was talking about. And then I finally, later on, it took me like a year later, I finally figured out where he was talking about. And so I'm like, damn, I was so close. It was right next to fortifications 4 and 5. And so I went to fortification 4 again and did a little video. And I don't know, man, I haven't been posting a lot of videos. I got a lot of content. Like I literally have a terabyte of video from this trip, and I haven't put any of it up. I just got kind of disinterested, and I don't make any money on YouTube, so it's not like I make like $14 a month.
Yeah,
I should put it all up, but I'm so lazy right now. And the other thing I did was I went back to the highest point in the Adrar Plateau. So the chert outcrops are right in the center. They're actually on the third ring, the outer ring on the inside. If you consider the whole thing a bowl, you've got 3 rings on the inside of the bowl.
Right.
And so the third ring on that third outer ring is where those chert outcrops are. And if you want to pull up a map, so I don't have to touch anything, I'll guide you there and you can zoom in on them. The other thing I went to was near the 2 canals, the parallel canals. I walked down one of them a long time ago, took some really shitty video. And so I was really ashamed of that. And I went back there between the 2 canals. This is the highest point in the Adrar Plateau. There's these quarrying lines. And I had to get the shot from the ground. And it's like you can totally see this groove that somebody, but we're not talking about like people making hand tools. This was talking about major. I'll show you anytime you're ready. But at the same time, I did want to get, and I should check any questions from the viewers because I need new questions. People,
we should.
I'm thinking about what I want to say, but I want to answer any questions that are out there. Who sent you the super chats? Helen.
We've got super chats.
You got 0.99 pounds, unfortunately. She just didn't want to go for the full pound.
Oh, it's a sticker. It's a sticker.
Yes,
it's a banana.
yeah.
Thanks, Helen. Yeah, we should say before we started, Stig said if anyone watching now has any questions, there's about 30 of you watching on YouTube. I don't know about the other platforms, but if you've got any questions for Stig, if you could put like a question in caps or capital Q and then a question, then I can find it easily. Then do that, and we'll ask Stig while we're here.
Hey, I shared this on Twitter. I forgot to share it every place else. Jimmy Corsetti liked the post, and so wow. Jimmy knows we're live right now.
Nice.
Gross.
Twitter's boring. Like the only reason why I get notifications is because TMZ. I just signed up for TMZ. I'm a real whore for the celebrity gossip.
What's happening in Tinseltown then?
Well, you know what? I wanted to brag about something that happened before you guys were born, I believe. I'm 56 now. But when I was out of high school, about 18, 19, I met John Cleese.
Oh, wow.
I met a few others, but the way I met John Cleese was weird. I mean, if I told him about it, he'd probably remember this, but not just by seeing me, obviously, because I just look so different from that 18-year-old version of myself. And he does too, by the way. Wow. He still had all his dark hair. He was doing something in LA, selling a product had made, a video series for business training videos, like safety videos and other stuff regarding business. And this little, it was like a little, I don't know if he ever got it. He was just doing it was a training video package that he was selling. And I was there because I was a fan. But my grandmother read it. She read the newspaper every day and said, "Hey, John Cleese is going to be in LA. You can go see him." And I said, "Okay, I'm there." So I didn't know why he was there. Went there, was sitting in the audience. He was talking about this product. And suddenly there was a bomb threat. The whole building had to be evacuated. So we were out on the sidewalk together. That's when I got to talk to him finally.
So you called in a bomb threat just so you could get 5 minutes along with John Cleese?
Well, not that I'm much of a planner. I already told you I don't plan very well. That's why I don't do crimes, because there's video everywhere now. You do a crime, it's gonna be captured on video. So I'm done with the crimes. And and regarding, thinking in advance to be able to call John, it's like I'm gonna do a bomb. First of all, there were no cell phones, right? So I would have literally had to. We're talking like 1986, 87. I can't remember the exact year. I was driving. And I started driving in 84. So I drove down to LA. I'm pretty sure I was graduating from high school, which was 85. And drove downtown. And we didn't have smartphones. I would have had to go out and find a payphone. Mm. And it was right down central LA. There was a Crocker Bank building at the time. So anyways, we were out on the sidewalk and I just wanted to say something. And he said, "You can ask me this." He was not proud about one aspect of the product for some reason. I thought he was talking about Monty Python. So I saw him on the sidewalk. I'm like, "What was that one you were mentioning?" And he mentioned one of the videos. I'm like, I don't give a shit about the videos. But I was still, I guess I was still a little too shy to try to talk to him much longer, and I just backed off. I'm not that pushy guy, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I want an autograph. I can't be that guy. Anyways, back to history. Back to history. That's my history. I got a picture of me with hair. Anyways, back to my history. Back to the ancient stuff. Cadiz was okay. So I was trying to tell you. So I went to Morocco, and then I went down to the Atlas Mountains. I was pissed about that. That was, but I was already getting a sniffle. That was in Marrakesh. I thought Marrakesh was awesome. I said, okay, I want to get back up to Cadiz. I wanted to go to Mauritania too. That's a different direction, right?
Yeah.
But I was getting a stuffy nose, and I was like, man, I'm getting sick. And by the time I got up to Cadiz, I had a stuffy nose, and I'm like, I'm done. I gotta go home. I do not want to get a cough. And and then so I'm in Cadiz, and I'm like, I can hang here for a bit. And there's one thing I don't want to say on the air, but then this major storm came in, and I did get a little bit of that on the video. I think it's in my video. I went out to the shore. There's this old man on this, and it was just too strong. I couldn't even stand in the. I'm like, I'm out of here. I went back to Madrid, and I healed up, and I'm like, okay. I didn't get sick. I was like sucking lime juice, gargling fresh lime juice. I think that's really the best thing I can do if I get a tickle in my throat, a stuffy nose. But thank God I took nose drops or spray, and so I had a clear nose. Otherwise, I would have been miserable. But I was like, man, if I get a cough, and it started to rain, so I was only in Cadiz one night, top secret. It was so beautiful. I want to go back for sure.
Yeah.
I was the next day. I was like, okay, what am I doing? Am I going back to Madrid like I've been thinking, or am I going to go try to see some of these sites? But I learned another important lesson: is a backpack that's really heavy and a carry-on that rolls around. The streets in Cadiz, the streets in Spain were not built for rolling around luggage on wheels. You got these cobblestones. That is just not the way to go.
Nightmare, yeah.
So anywhere I went, it's like, and I couldn't pick it up because it's all too heavy. So next time I do it, I'm going to be in one backpack, one pair of pants, or maybe super thin, like pants. The French, right? This is where I learned the French. They wash their underwear in the hotels and they hang it up in the bathroom, right?
Really?
That's what my mom and dad did.
I don't know. I don't know where I learned it, but I saw it going on. I went to Europe in '77, and I don't know. People were hanging their panties up in the bathrooms.
Different
I
times.
recall.
1977.
Wait, that was my mom. Wait, never mind. No. It was I don't know. Maybe it's the movies, but
no, it's a real thing.
Don't you guys do that in Europe? You wash your underwear every night and you hang them up.
So what we do is just before we're going to bed, is we take our underwear off and we wash it in the wash basin in the bathroom or the restroom, as you might call it. And we then hang it up to dry in the restroom, and then we put it back on in the morning.
In the morning, yeah.
Yeah.
But does it dry though? That's the thing. I mean,
it does
so
when
you
you
got that
put it
super
on.
sleek material.
Yeah, when you put it on, it dries.
If it's slightly damp, it don't matter, does it?
No.
You get used to it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's just right there. I mean, I've had some bad experiences before, but the idea of okay, so that's why you have to have two, right? That's why you have to have two. So the damp one you put in your thing and you take out the other one, right? That's the way to go there. And then socks. Now, I did have a chance to interview the Hiking Viking.
Oh, who's that? Who's that?
A dude that was walking along. I think I may have mentioned him before because I was talking about the continental divide with you guys. And I suddenly found out because I was looking at long, what I believe is ancient terraforming in New Mexico. And we can go. I found a very cool, I'd like to show you. Topographical software that's really good. And that'll really nail home that's got to be man-made. But so I'm driving through there, and there's this guy, the Hiking Viking. And I'm driving, and he's walking, and he ain't stopping because he's going on a 3,000-mile hike from the south of the United States up to Canada. And I met some other hikers, and I'm like, "Where are you headed? Canada?" I'm like, "What?" I'm in my car. I'm like, "Okay, have fun, boys." And then I saw him. I'm like, "I know what you're doing. You're hiking in Canada." He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay, I got a question for you." So I'm driving, I'm like, I got a question for you, man. How many pairs of underwear do you carry on a trip like that? And actually, I think I started with socks. I said, how many pairs of socks? And I think he literally has like one pair or maybe two. I think he said one. I'm like, how about underwear? He's like, none, zero. I'm like, man, I don't know. I mean, so rather than put on that kind of damp underwear, he just forget it. Let's just get back going with those weird shorts that he was wearing.
Oh, was it netted shorts with the netting inside?
Well, I certainly could. They weren't see-through, right? Save that for the OnlyFans page, boys. No, but yeah, so the Hiking Viking, and I looked him up and I sent him a message. He never got back to me. He never called me.
Oh, I thought you interviewed him.
We had a moment. Yeah, we had a moment. I filmed him. I think that sucker's on film, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. I was driving around. Yeah, the New Mexico, the parallel ridges out there. That's stuff I don't talk about. Like, if I want to be cool, if I want to have a rep, I just got to focus on the Eye of Africa. I'm the expert, right? Been there 3 times. Have my opinions. I don't believe it was a crater. I don't believe it was tectonic. What do you call it? Volcanic tectonic forces. I think that was some type of a I always forget the word, but like a planetary discharge of some sort, like when a comet came by, like a pure plasma discharge
CME.
just created it. That's where I'm at with that. And we're talking what, 1 million years ago, maybe, or billions of years ago. Who knows when it actually was created?
Right. So you think that people found it as it was and then repurposed it?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing. There's a LiDAR image that I don't know if we talked about that really shows some ridges up along the top. I really believe that there was some terraforming up top. That's a very hard plateau, the Adrar Plateau. I don't even know if I'm calling it the right name anymore. I've learned so many mistakes I've made. Always something new. You get into Google Earth and you find these place names. Like, oh, there's a place name. It's like, I could have been calling it that this whole time. But that hard Adrar Plateau that is the eye shape, the almond shape, right? When you look at it from Google Earth, you get what looks like a brown eye. I know that's not polite. But the circular part, the Richat structure, that's what you could call the cornea, right? So I'm talking about the Adrar Plateau, the almond structure. And part of me thinks maybe some ancient god did want to make them. I mean, remember what I called the gentleman, the English gentleman over there in Tibesti, when I showed you what was going on around his lips? I mean, that's a face. Somebody created that to look like a face. So this is the nutcase part of me where I'm believing like E.T. or giants did this stuff. But as far as Atlantis goes, how far back is Atlantis? How far back can you go? I mean, if the cataclysm that finished Atlantis happened when Plato said, that's 12,800 years ago, approximately. I have to add it up because I always get different numbers from different people. And now, by the way, the CPAC thing in Rancho Mirage, I met the guy who puts that show on named Walt. He did the Great Year video. Movie documentary 20 years ago. He's looking to do a new version of that, and we had a chat just recently. I don't think he's going to put me on his show, but he said he's going to do a new version of it, like a 20-year version of that. He taught me a few things about the Great Year. Randall Carlson taught me that it was 72 degrees per. We got 360 degrees in our ecliptic, and it's every 72 years it's 1 degree, so it adds up to 25,920 years. But that number is not exactly correct. Maybe go back to the time of Atlantis, before the cataclysm. Certain events may have happened that knocked us off our axis. So that number could have changed, and that's what a lot of people are like. The whole golden year, and you've got a lot of guests. I can't keep up with all your interviews. You got a lot of intelligent people coming on. The golden year, the golden era, the silver, the good. What are you talking about? The kind of the Indian version of the Great Year. What's that called?
The Yugas. Yugas.
The Yugas. Yes.
So like in the Kali.
The Yugas is a different amount of time, right? Yeah. It's not 25,920.
No, but it does incorporate all the processional numbers, doesn't it? The magic numbers, the harmonic numbers. But it's a different scale, different time frame, yeah.
The only reason why I know anything about it is well, first of all, I wanted to know when Leo was facing. Sorry, the Sphinx was facing the.
The equinox,
I can't think of the damn word. The Leo.
Yeah, well, that's
the constellation.
That's 12,500 years ago, isn't it?
Well, I was using Stellarium and I came up with about 8 to 10.
Right.
But 8,000 to 10,000 years ago. And I have my little chart, but I went back to Stellarium and I couldn't make anything add up anymore. It was all different and nothing was adding up, and I dropped it. I said, forget it. I give up. I mean, also the other thing I wanted to know was when Aquarius is coming, because everybody says we're in the age of Aquarius. We're not. We're in the age of Pisces. Pisces is about almost 3,000 years long, that age. Oh, that was the whole thing. This whole great month discussion. And I was like, why would anybody care if who's counting the ages care about the great month number, which is what?
2,160 years. 2160.
There's always whenever. Oh, 2160. Yeah, that sounds about right. But ages, each constellation is different along the ecliptic.
Different size,
so, like if you look at Aries, which was right before Pisces, that age would have only been 720 years long because it was only 10 degrees, and then Pisces is like almost three. I forget how many degrees, but it's like 2,800 years that they would be rising on the vernal equinox. And then I think that Aquarius is about to start in, say, 800 to 900 years from now. So we still have because Pisces started with the birth of Christ.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know. I think that Christ is a real person, but I think that his life in the Bible was greatly exaggerated. And they didn't even put a date on when he was born in the Bible, right? I've been studying the Bible recently. It's this whole thing about the Old Testament and the New Testament. They're so different. I think we're being. Who is this King James guy?
Oh, right. You're into that, are you?
Rearranged some information, right? But anyways, I don't know how we got to like Jesus was born, but before Christ and after death. It was because of Christ, right? But I think it was also kind of attributed because of the new age that was happening at that time. They're like, let's just put the birth of Christ at the beginning of this age. I mean, we're in the year 2024, and that's how many years ago Pisces started. So I think it's a pretty important thing. Call me a pagan if you want.
It's a hell of a coincidence, but you can understand why a new religious tradition would incorporate the symbology of astrology into it, because all the previous religions have done the same.
Well, whoever's in charge now certainly is doing a great job of making us forget. That's all I can say, because nobody around here in the USA, what did you call us Americans earlier?
Goofballs?
Goofballs. We're horrible, man. We're horrible. You know what I really enjoyed about my trip to Spain was the lack. I'm sorry. Who's listening right now? How many? The ladies there have these things called a figure. They're fit. We're just fast food, man. Fast food. It's terrible.
Called the Mediterranean diet, isn't it?
Yeah, there's something called the Piopi diet, which is
good for your speaking heart. Of which, I did do a search here. It's right here. I was going to ask you guys, what do English people eat for breakfast? What is it called? Bangers and mash? Is that what you say? Bangers and mash?
No. Well, yeah, that's. Yeah.
How do you pronounce? What is it? It's bangers for sure. But what's the other word?
Well, we would say bangers.
Bangers and mash.
Mash, yeah.
Sausages and mash. Okay.
Sausages and mashed
I was
potato.
like, okay, I want to talk about that. It doesn't have it anywhere here, but we have first of all, you guys are definitely unhealthy if you eat all this stuff. Bacon, toast, fried bread. What the hell's fried bread? Do you eat fried bread?
Bread that's fried.
Fry it in a frying pan.
Yeah.
It's just bread that's fried.
Google says you eat it. Fried eggs, sausages. Okay, wait. Eggy bread. What is eggy bread? Never heard of that before.
It's like fried bread, but you
add an egg.
You dip it in egg.
Is that like French toast?
Yeah.
It's French toast, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Yeah. And of course, French toast is just like French fries, right?
Have you heard of black pudding, Stig?
Yeah, I've heard of it, and it's right there, black pudding. Basically, I think that's kind of like head cheese, right?
It's something you need to get some.
Look,
you need some black
I
pudding
haven't
in your
tried
life.
it. I've gone over it with some people. People like the black pudding. Yeah, you gotta. Basically, it's a bunch of guts and stuff all wrapped up in some skin, right?
Essentially, like if I'm feeling frisky, if I want a treat on the weekend on a Sunday, sometimes I'll get some black pudding and I'll have black pudding with my Sunday lunch.
Okay, but here's the one. Here's the one that popped up that I just definitely maybe you can help. Bubble and squeak.
I was gonna say that one. That's more down south, isn't it?
Yeah, not up here.
It's nice
Bubble and squeak.
Yeah.
And then here's one that says, especially the tinned. What is it? It says exactly these words. So like bacon, toast, and then
tinned beans.
Next one is especially the. Do you know the rest? It says especially the tinned tomatoes. Canned. We say canned here in the USA. The tinned tomatoes.
Plum tomatoes, yeah.
The word especially belongs in the front, or what's going on with that?
I don't think so.
Especially, I think it's saying especially with a full English breakfast, you would have tinned tomatoes.
Yeah.
Trying to make, okay, so they must have somehow, anyways, I didn't mean to distract. What did you all have for breakfast?
Today, I had boiled egg and soldiers. Do you know what that is?
Did you just say soldiers?
Soldiers, yeah.
That sounds like sausages, maybe?
Ooh,
I don't know.
No, it's just toast, but you chop it up, you cut it into thin slices.
Boiled egg. Okay.
And you can dip it and you call it
actually,
soldiers.
to be honest, I don't eat a lot in the morning today. It's the wild geese, Irish soldiers and heroes. I still haven't had my shot. Instead, I've been drinking yerba mate. What is this? I get everything cheap on sale.
What the hell's that?
Yerba mate. I don't know. It was cheap.
Is it?
It was on sale.
Mate, the South American tea.
It looks like an energy drink.
Like kombucha.
Yeah. It says it's an energy drink. It says okay. No kombucha. I love kombucha. I do actually have just pure kombucha, but I'm saving it. I can't even read that. What the hell? Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Jason in the chat saying, "Dude's wearing a hat with flames for eyebrows."
And the hardest part is when my real eyebrows come up over the edge and add to the. Yeah. I have to trim these little fuckers.
Yeah.
Sometimes I could put on the cowboy hat if you want. If everybody wants that. What the hell does that say? It says coffee berry energy with coffee berry energy. Okay, so it's Steez, man. I think I paid 50 cents, but 2 for $1. That's why I bought this. It says sparkling yerba mate. Is it herba or yerba?
I have no idea. Oh, yerba.
So you're using a torch because you've got some sunglasses on.
I was going over. I just don't want you guys seeing the bags under my eyes. This is the reason why I wear the sunglasses.
Okay.
Yeah. I never got to wear this hat. I bought it at a thrift store or something, and I'm like, that is a damn cool hat. So I knew I broke my tooth. I was in a really bad mood. You guys are making me feel great, by the way. I haven't had any alcohol or any other stimulants. All right, back to the breakfast. What the hell is a crumpet?
Oh, yeah.
I don't really know what a crumpet is.
I've no idea how you make one.
It's a bread product.
Is it not potato? Is it got like potato stuff?
I don't do bread. I don't do bread. I try to avoid the bread. That's why I lost the 20 pounds. It says it's a small griddle bread made from an unsweetened batter. Oh, and this whole unleavened bread thing. You know what? I thought that I was a sinner because I was eating leavened bread, right?
Yeah.
But now I learned, because I just watched that Netflix thing on Moses. They were only getting the unleavened bread because they didn't want to waste time, right? Not because God said it's a sin.
You want to let this to
it's just about time saving.
Just throw it in.
Yeah, I guess if you eat leavened bread, you're a time waster, apparently. But is that, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to get into it because I'm not a religious person. I just read there's a really cool YouTube channel called Useful Charts. This guy's a PhD in religious studies, and he makes all these charts. I think it's called Useful Charts. And so I'm addicted to his videos. We've like a half hour. We're almost an hour in, and I didn't even share my desktop. What kind of questions can I answer? There's a couple things I wanted to show you picture-wise to say that we have stuff going on this planet everywhere. Ancient mining. Do we have time for a 5-minute desktop share, or should we just
absolutely
give that up for the next time?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let me try to do a screen share.
Let's see some pictures.
Screen two. Let me try that. Okay, there you go. All right, so here's what I've been up to, just to show off. Am I sharing the screen? Okay, so you can't see my face anymore, right?
No.
All right, so the top secret, don't call me trailer trash, okay? This is called a park model, okay? It's a park model. And I do have this desert view, and
is that your trailer?
Yeah. Top secret. I live here.
Wow. That's technically, Stig. That's our trailer. Do you not remember our deal?
What? No. That was a different trailer. That was the Winnebago.
Don't believe you. I don't believe you.
I'm just showing you. I fixed it up. This is what I've been doing.
That one.
These guys are gone. Oh. And now I have a new neighbor. There's a big house there. But that's just me fixing it up. I'm glad you can see that.
Yeah.
And I taped it up. And I'm just trying to get it done here. I did finish the front. That's the side. Okay. And so I got myself a new room. It's totally nice. What do you call it? Changed my life around here. But man, now I feel like an old man. So that's the kind of the finished product. There's a couple more changes I have to make. And then that is the next phase was this area. And now it looks like that. I just finished that yesterday. Wow. That's a friend. This is my friend. He knows how to pose for photos. I'm like, go ahead, pose. Anyways, he could be watching. And that's the backside. So that's what I've been up to. So that's why I haven't been caring about ancient history. Now let's go to where is our first stop? Google Earth. I got it right here. What is our first stop? So let me just show you kind of backwards. What was I going to show you? The last thing I want to show you is in Mali.
Okay.
The English gentleman is right there. There's something down here I want to show you. But I did find a cave. There's a lot of caves in Morocco by this mountain. And one of them that I found, one thing that's kind of cool is this line here. Hercules the giant was supposed to have torn through here, making the biggest waterfall in the world. Apparently this was empty and the water came in through here. I don't know if you've ever heard that story.
Yeah, like
but
a
right
downfill
down here, there's this cave I found. And so I took some pictures of that. It's right in, where are we? Yeah. And it's like I could walk down into this cave. Now it wasn't much, but these caves are everywhere. And I thought that was kind of cool. So also another thing that really gets me is these straight lines here. I don't get how that's possible. But I don't know. I can't be a conspiracy nutcase for everything.
It totally makes sense
like
with the caves and the old. Do you follow Bernie Taylor?
I do not.
Oh right, I'll have to send I'll send you a link to one of our previous videos. But he was talking about Jebel Musa and Hercules and this sort of cave art and the drawings and I think you would find it informative. It might tie in with some of your research maybe. But
okay,
I'll send you a link.
I missed out. I walked over this mountain, and I just there's so much stuff that I didn't see. St. Michael's Cave pops up here. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't go to it. I was up here, and I walked down this way, and I thought I had seen everything, and I missed St. Michael's Cave. You mentioned the art. They've created some kind of a light show in there. Now, there's another cave over here called Hercules Cave on the by Tangier, where it's over here by the airport. And I did go there, and I have to say that the machining on the ceiling, Hercules Cave right here, we could probably click on a couple things. This one shows these little discs that came out of the ceiling. I think there's 2 phases of machining that went on inside this cave, and that's one of them. Over by the view, okay, that's outside. I didn't take these pictures. This is coming from the maps. There's a couple of places that seem like, look at that complete circle right there. So whatever machine took those out of the ceiling, there's a couple of these discs hanging around. I saw them stacked up on the outside. There's another place, and there was a few of them stacked up. I'm like, what are these little discs, these little wafers? Well, it looks like those wafers came out of the ceiling.
Do you know
now,
what
that
those...
Go on.
Sorry, Stig. Just you know what those marks look like? If you've ever had to drill core holes through masonry...
Agreed. I totally agree.
Well, the thing is, you use like I drill 4-inch holes through masonry fairly regularly, and use a 4-inch core drill like that, and it has a pilot bit that goes through the middle. And if you're, wanting to drill a 4-inch hole and you can't find your pilot bit, or it has snapped, you have to start the core drill off without a pilot, and it jumps and it creates these sort of semicircular.
Oh, you're doing it without the middle drill. So
exactly.
I do the same thing. I drilled a doorknob. So I had the same, I had to drill through, and it had the pilot drill bit. You're saying you do it without the drill bit?
Well, you shouldn't do, but if you do, it creates these sort of crescented marks in the wall.
Gotcha. Well, obviously, I mean, look at this one right here. I can't zoom in, or I would. Oops. I don't know how to get in there more, but this part looks like the same stuff, but it's been worn down by erosion.
Right.
But if you look right there, you can see, I think what you just mentioned, it's like that little crescent you get. It's for some reason like they were ripping the material off, whoever it was. But one more thing I want to say, and I'm looking for a better shot. When you get inside, you get a different ceiling that doesn't have that, and it looks like it was shaped another way. Right. The little hole looks like Africa. It's the mirror image of Africa. But for some reason, what's that? For some reason, they don't have it here. Nobody posted one. I guess I can open up my images. I've got a bunch of pictures, but I know we're kind of limited on time right now. How are we doing on time?
We haven't been going an hour yet. We've got a good 10, 15 minutes, okay. I would say. I don't want to go too late because we've got to do the second part, that's all.
Yeah. Well, I got all my folders right here. A selfie, we can go through those. Junk, LAX, that was the beginning of the trip. Barcelona. I mean, nothing too old there. I was also kind of elated. It was my first time touching the Mediterranean. And then wow. I kind of mislabeled these North Spain and Southern Spain. It's just mainly train trips. I did a lot of trains. Cadiz, Gibraltar. Where are we? Okay, so we wanted North Morocco. I wanted to try to get a picture. Now, dare I open all these in front of you? Images. I'm just looking for that. Anyway, see, this is why it's going to take so much time. So there's a lot of stuff here in Morocco. I got hundreds of pictures. And so I don't think we should waste time doing that. Let's just look at the Google Earth, okay. Because I want to show you two things in Google Earth, and then maybe I'll open this back up. You know what I did? I made a mistake. I just closed the Google Earth.
It's okay.
Okay, there. I guess I'm gonna have to reopen it. What have you been watching on TV? You lost all the movie openings. I didn't hear me saying Graham Hancock. No. Did you still have the same openings?
We had a deal, Stig, right? I was
okay. I owe you a trailer. Are you sure? Because I remember seeing that. Okay, so Hercules Cave is over there. So let me go straight down to where I went in the Eye of Africa. This is that brown almond shape I mentioned, and there's a bunch of stuff. You guys remember the canal that I found that goes right through this part of the Adrar Plateau and points right at the eye. Mm-hmm. Do you not?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from our first video,
that?
I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It starts right about here, and there's a bunch of canals going through here. So of course, this is really far to drive, and you're going through the desert, so there's no way I was going to visit any of that. There's a crater right over here that I wanted to visit. It's right about here. There it is, right there, that crater. That's like, I was close to that. I was closer to that than I thought. What I wanted to, this ridge right here, I'm highly interested in it. And it points right at what I call Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer because of this little nose right here. I went to the nose. So you can see the parallel canals on both sides. Let me back out one more time so we know where we are, because I don't want to spend a lot of time. This is the center, of course.
Yeah.
The other stuff that I went to is right there, but I'll talk about that in a second. I also went for my first time to the city of Chinguetti. I was ashamed I hadn't been there yet, but now I don't regret it at all. I have to be honest. I don't think anybody should bother. It's a little too dirty. I'm sorry to say that. And there wasn't anything really there. So there's parallel canals here, one over here and one over here.
Oh yeah.
And again, I'll back out to show where that is. You can also see what I say is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, because it kind of looks like a deer. That's where I wanted to go. I was taking distant photos, but these two little mountains here were of great interest to me. This one has a name, Tomyat Mountain. This one's bigger and it doesn't even have a name. We can open up the layers and get the name shown.
Can I just say, Stig, you know where you just waved at those canals when you there was a picture there of the eye and the canals. Where those canals are moving south, it looks like if that was an eye and it cried, the water would run out the tear duct.
The tear duct. See, I never even thought of that. That is such a great thing. I always called this the tear duct over here. But I didn't call it the tear duct. I called it the corner of the eye. You've got this curve here. You've got this little canal that comes through. So you do have ducts on both sides of your eye, I guess.
Well, it always runs down the outside, doesn't it? Generally.
Oh, you know what? Let me open up. I should have done this already. Let me open this up. caltopo.com. Loving the Caltopo. I've been using it for, since we're already there, I'll just show you real quick. I'm going to go back to the eye where we were. First thing I want to do is get rid of I don't understand why this is not showing right. Let me just make sure. Oh, the layers are over here. Okay, we got to make sure it's filling the window correctly so you can see everything there. All right, and then you turn off the global imagery altogether and choose shaded relief. All right, and there you go. Now, here we are in New Mexico already. So these are the parallel ridges I talked about. You can barely see them from a distance, but there's one is up here, one is up here. I went through this one here and thought it was a lot smaller, but now I realize with this is actually pretty damn big too. They go into the mountains and they disappear. This is along the Continental Divide. This one, which I did climb, is a very interesting shape right here. It goes into the mountains, but then it comes out of the mountains and it goes back into another higher plateau. And over here, it starts again. I never knew about these until I checked out the software. So we're going to use the same software, go back to the eye. But right before we do, I'm just going to say these things have these little switchbacks. Somebody was terraforming New Mexico. Now, I don't want to waste a lot of time because I could talk about anything for a long time. So let's just zoom out of New Mexico. This is caltopo.com. Loving this, and zoom into Africa. Wow. And now we can see these canals a little bit clearer. Kind of hard, actually. It's still pretty good. But here's the Adrar Plateau, which is really the highest point in this whole area. There's the Richat Structure. I did want to talk about another LiDAR image that shows these what I call agricultural ridges going right here. And also there's some damming. In fact, I've been looking at this line right here. Let me zoom into it for a long time. And now what I've found is that this line and this line here, and there's a straight up and down one, it's ancient damming activity, in my opinion. I'm not going to get too much into it. We're going to go over here to the highest point in this whole plateau. And you can now see very clearly those two parallel canals. But what I wanted to see was this quarrying lines here. These quarrying lines is why I went to this. The quarrying lines that I visited are these mountain peaks, both have one. I should really pull those out so you can see. It's on my video, so you can watch the video that auto plays on my channel. But you've got these other lines. It's not the only place. I suspect this whole ridge. Look at this right here. You can see the other plateau underneath, but it looks like something just laid this content down right on top of it and went all the way across. And I really suspect that that's some type of activity. There's the crater, the Oelo crater. I was really close. I was right here, but going from here to here would have been a trek. And I wanted to get up here on top of this, but I knew my time was short. And so I'm like, okay, we got to get moving. I got here and I love my shot. Let me see if I can pull it up since I mentioned it. Let me close down a couple things. Any questions while I'm opening this up?
Caltopo.com, is it?
Yeah, it's great. Okay, let me remind one more thing about that. When you choose, where is that? When you do it, Yeah, you go over here to the layers, and I'm using what's called shaded relief. And that's the only one I'm using, so it's just pure shaded relief.
That's really cool.
Yeah, if, go visit your neighborhood. I've always suspected some type of activity was happening, and this is all washed away from I think it was a storm. Over here
might be cool to
this
look
little
at
area.
the,
I think it's more clear that something was going on. There's machining going on. What was that? Was that Phil? What'd you say?
I was just gonna say it might be interesting to look at Carolina Bays on that sometime.
Yes. It's a little tough to find. That's very shallow. The Carolina Bays are a little shallow, but yeah, I did that a little bit. Okay, so that right there was the first part. The other place, because I know we have a time issue, I'm just going to go back to this map. I drove out here. What a trek this was, and the way the guy went, he went across some harsh sand. So I really don't enjoy this part of the trip right here. I wish he had kind of gone over this way and gone across the green area. I was just looking at some older video of my first 2 trips, and it's so nice to go across the soft, smooth sand, but he was going over some harsh sand. Now, if you don't know where the castle is, it's right over here. I've been there before, but I didn't want to go again. We call it now, it's called what? Fortification number 1.
Yeah.
There's actually 2 of these. They're just lines of stone, and they're not. I got people that are, I don't want to say any names. I actually have already forgot his name, but people bug me. They go, oh, that's a sign of, that could be 10,000 years old. I'm like, dude, look, we've already pretty much established that's about 200 years old, maybe made in the 1800s, maybe 1830, 1870, maybe. I mean, we're talking about French military. There's another fort that was torn up that I actually drove past. I was looking for it again. It's right out here, approximately right here. It totally melted, and that's a controversy. Why did this thing was made out of like what? I'm sorry. What do you call a brick that's made out of sand? It's not really cement. It's called what?
Mud brick.
We have them all over California. A mud brick, but there's what's the name of the building? It's a special kind of building. Anyways, I believe that's how they built that, and it's just melted. It's horrible looking.
Stucco.
It looks horrible. What was that word?
Stucco.
Sorry. Anyways, yeah, that doesn't sound familiar.
No. Right.
Okay, so there were structures in this that were being quarried for hundreds and thousands of years. Well, I finally figured out it was this right here. Okay. These are the chert outcrops. I even used my app, and it said, "Yeah, this is chert." Okay, I brought a little home.
What's chert?
I brought some
mean?
chert home. You want some chert?
What's chert mean, Stig?
For you.
I've never heard chert before.
Chert is a kind of like crystallized stone, and that's the thing. They're all related. Stone's related. Like sometimes it comes up as sandstone, and this whole thing's supposed to be sandstone. This whole thing. But it's crystallized. It's harder than sandstone. So it's like then it says it comes up as I'm not a geologist, so I can barely spit all these words out. But Randall Carlson said, see, and then this word comes up, Hassie found. What the hell is Hassie found? I don't know what Hassie found is. There's literally nothing here. I found some camel bones. I walked over here. I couldn't really see these lines because the reason why I went there was like, I want to see these lines up close. These lines are not that apparent from the ground. Now, I did get a little lost. So to say that I went exactly to this little intersection, but these were the chert outcrops being quarried by somebody hundreds and thousands of years ago, up to 1.2 million years ago. So is it that beautiful? No, but there are other quarries around this area. My next trip, I got to get up here. I'm going to show this to you in a second, but I'm just going to finish and say this is like chaos. And I'll get the videos up. But it was kind of boring. People would be like, the other thing I went back to was the fortification number 4. It's right here. I went there for a second time. In fact, I feel a little guilty because I drove too close to it. There's a track right next to it now. Don't tell anybody I did that, man. I'm just glad we didn't drive over because we were looking for it. I'm like, oh shit. By the way, I wasn't driving. So I'm not pointing fingers, but it wasn't me.
Just going back to that the last place you went to, there's loads of like parallel lines and stuff there. It's like those look man-made. They look like a sign of human behavior. It's like, well, this place has been uninhabitable
in my opinion,
20,000 years.
If you look at the desert, sorry to interrupt. I want you to finish that. I always thought these could have been animal tracks. Not anymore. They were made by somebody. Go ahead. What were you saying, Phil? Sorry.
Well, I mean, when was the last time this place was like lush, green, habitable?
Right. Good question. Like, apparently the Sahara has been a desert twice since the Younger Dryas. They're having a lot of rain right now. So actually these images are kind of fresh. There's a lot of green growing in the desert now. When I drove through, it looked about the same, to be honest. But there was some water over here somewhere. I think there's like some alligators hanging out over here. There's pictures of alligators, or maybe I should say crocodile. And I think it's over here. There's crocodiles hanging out. I've been wanting to get up here. I couldn't do it on my second trip. I wasn't going to even try on this trip. There's a couple of things I want to see right here. But the real reason this area is important, I believe now, is to study this. I'm going to zoom out so we can zoom back in. There's a little speck of white right there. And if you zoom into that white, and I showed this to you before, and I really want to get out, and then you go down, it's not the top of the plateau. It's down a little, just like in the Grand Canyon. They do the same thing in the Grand Canyon. They didn't mine and quarry from the very top. They went down a couple strata layers. And they do all this crazy quarrying. Don't tell me that's natural. Okay, I know I've shown you this before. Wow. But this is just part of it. I'm going to back out in a second. I call this the Giant's Quarry. And I've been wanting to go there. I tried. That looks like a car can drive there. I used to think you had to go from down here, but now I'm thinking to get there, you start from the top and then you climb down and go over this way. I'm still, people said I got to take camels.
What the fuck is that doing in the middle of the Sahara, man?
This is quarrying. This is like an art project, but there's quarrying everywhere here. I'm going to back out and show you some more. But like if you go along the north shore of the Adrar Plateau,
right?
And I say north shore, it's 2,000 feet high, but I think this is a quarry line. I'm sorry, this is an ancient shoreline right here. Oh, so I think this was a body of water. Yeah, and I think that the bottom of this body of water was down here, and it got covered by the sand. We don't know how big this body of water was. There's an ancient shoreline here that's almost a perfect curve. And then it goes down into this little river or quarry. I'm sorry, a canal, I say. I think it's only 4 kilometers long. But this little thing separates 2 different bodies of bedrock. Over here on the left, we've got this dark stuff. Over here on the right, I don't know what we have. Ignore that. That's a glitch.
The brown.
But right. I can show you canals. Let's make sure we're north because I get lost. I can show you that there were canals way out here. There's like now I'm gonna be lost. Hold on, I got lost.
Sorry,
way out here in the middle of nowhere. You've got these little canals going through these little, let's say outcrop of breccia outcrop. It's taking forever to. Yeah. That's an airport right there. That's an airport. An airstrip, you could say.
An ancient airstrip.
Coming. That's an airstrip. Why they would put one way out there in the middle of nowhere, I don't know. But just north of that is this ancient canal sticking through the mega breccia at the top.
Yeah. Wow.
It's hard to see right there. I'm going to follow it. You can kind of see it there. Let me zoom in a little more. It's about that wide. Let me see how wide that comes out to, just for reference. I don't think that's one of the wider ones. It's 0.01 kilometers wide. Come on.
100 meters. Exactly.
Let's go with no. Let's go with feet. There we go. Let's go with feet. 36 feet. Okay, so you can argue that is let's get rid of this. Let's get it 36 feet wide. It's not very long, but what I think is that was feeding water from the ancient Tamanrasset Paleo River. It goes on quite a ways. I think it's like 10 miles long that you can see. And then it kind of disappears into the sand up here. There's more up here. So I didn't even want to show you that. What I really wanted to get to, but the ancient Tamanrasset, the Paleo River, the Tamanrasset Paleo River, it used to, I believed it went around this. By the way, that's a major ore. The longest train in the world comes from Zorat, Derek, or however you pronounce it. I believe that this whole thing was a part of the complex. There was water going through here too. What I've learned is that the water went up and north of that back down. There's canals all over this whole area.
Yeah.
There's so many things I want to talk about, and I know we're running. It's impossible to do it. So go through my because there's a bunch of canals over here too, but that one I just showed you is right here. I believe that the water coming. People say, "Oh, it's too far inland to have been Atlantis."
Yep.
Ever since I found my canal going straight through this mountain, 50-mile long canal going right through here, I can show you that I can show quite quickly. Oh yeah, and the ancient equator, I got to show you that too. There's so many things that I want to show you. Oh, that's not what I wanted to turn on. Let's turn that back off and turn this one, but it's the same line. There it is. So many things. All these red lines are like the canals going through. Let me just say one thing about the Sahara Desert. I showed you this right by the lips. That's crazy. There's these ridges everywhere. Coming down here, you can see these ridges going over the mountains. I still think I need to ditch this YouTube bullshit and write a book called The Mountain Builders, because I've discovered these ridges, I just don't think they're natural anymore. And they go on top of older looking structures. I can show you my South African structures really quick, but don't think we have time. But you get these lines going through the Sahara that are like what I think they were over. I know you're going to say, oh, that's just volcanic action. I know I got a lot of people say a lot of things. The last thing I want to hear is that looks natural, but that's over on the east side of the Sahara. Then you go to Mali, and I believe like the Kalahari canals, which you can find those quite easy down here. We've talked about those. This structure, these lines that are down here, are called the Kalahari canals. Those canals were probably created for some ancient mining activity, like over 1 million years ago. Up here in Mali area, you also have some ancient like lines like that, like these lines here, some type of canal matrix or network. And I think I've shown you up here in Algeria the mining activity. I don't want to go there again, but it just blows my mind. But the last thing that I think I showed you guys right before I said adieu was what's called telebit. And I think this is really the one. This is it. You can go to the layers and look at photos. If you're lucky, you'll find a few. Who put this? This is like the signs. This is, to me, the smoking guns, because these aren't mountains anymore, guys. I mean, these are just like straight lines of rubble. And when you look at that, you're like, well, what is it? Well, there's a couple pictures around here that we can look at. These are just literally piles of stones. Somebody put that content there. Sometimes they were going north and south. Whoever did this, whatever project this was, they were going east and west. They're literally building mountains out there. And I'm not saying it was yesterday. Here's a picture of this stuff. I mean, do you think that looks natural? Because when you have ridges out in the middle of places like this, like, for example, let's go back to New Mexico. I'm not going to be able to find it.
Looks like Nazca, that.
When we go to New Mexico and look at those ridges I just showed you, see, like I said, I'm going to have to put it's hard for me to find, unfortunately, like this. Going to Google Earth, though, when you find ridges like that and say, well, what created those? Obviously, this little thing down at the base, that was man-made for sure. But I'm saying the whole mountains are man-made. I mean, or by giants, or by ET. And you get it where they go along, like there's a little one going right next. How do you explain that with geology? You say that's a volcanic dike. Remember, I was all fixated on scissoring dikes of Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still fixated on it, but I just don't talk about it in public because, people don't really understand. These piles of rocks, we have our Joshua tree here. So I grew up thinking Joshua tree has what is like the skeleton of rocks. Have you guys ever you've been to Joshua tree? Anybody?
Nope.
Not bad.
Joshua tree rock formations. There's so many. And I think in general, it kind of looks like this. I think that's a good one. And so I grew up thinking this is the way mountains erode. And you definitely have a lot of this going on in Joshua Tree. Now, I don't know anymore. Now, sometimes I think maybe these rocks are even signs of ancient mining, because I look at the Colorado River now. I know I sound crazy, right? You guys are looking at your watches. But there's a lot of people coming up with videos now that kind of agree with me. This stuff just doesn't seem natural anymore. I grew up thinking this was natural. And but let's go back to the Google Earth picture. Now, when you find piles of rocks like this, and there's not just, I call them trails. Like you zoom in anywhere and you see these trails, and you think, oh, that's got to be natural. There's no way that I'm gonna make the claim that that's not natural. But I'm not there anymore. I did have this one thing that I prepared, and I'm going to try to pull it up. It opens up. The problem with it, Google Earth Pro will have to open up to do the animation. And Google Earth always freezes up on me, so we might not have a pleasant experience. Okay. But it's all set up, ready to go, and it shouldn't take a long time. This is Lesotho. Lesotho is an interesting country for me because you can see it without any borders on. I mean, I think it's literally a major, and this mountain, okay, it zooms in a little too far. I call this the siren. I'll stop it because I think it's very interesting. Looks like she's got a wand and she's ready to curse you. I call her the siren of Lesotho. She's got a long wand and she's got a big butt and a bald head. Because I think they were carving the mountains here. Someone made that. I have to stop it early before it goes into far. Look at these corners, these plateaus, and these intersections, and these lines. They're intersecting. I feel like this was the edge of a major mining project. So yeah, I'm going back to see the Giant's Quarry this is Kolonyama. I've shown this to you before, but it goes so fast. These are new pictures. Now we have a body of water up here. We didn't have that before. I call this an ancient shortcut because we've got the intersection, but then we've got the shortcut that goes off. Now, it doesn't just go into a road, it turns into a gap. Now, the other shortcut is over here, and it's so similar to what I just showed you. I just think, man, look at that. Here's another shortcut, ancient intersection, a plateau that's higher than below, and some type of amphitheaters have been mined out. I've got these intersections lined up for you. So we're just going to visit a few intersections. Some are better than others. So I'm getting used to this Google Earth bullshit, KMZ files. I'm going to get this stuff figured out. Yeah, so there's another one. This is kind of a T. I think it did go to the north. It continued to the north as well. Fat X30. I don't know what that means. But anyway, that was what I labeled it. Because it doesn't really, it's like an intersection, but it's got a plateau. Yeah. It's not really an intersection, but it's got these ridges. A plateau in the foothill. Intersection in the foothills. So I think this stuff was going on over 1 million years ago. Not like it was Atlantis. This was like pre-Atlantis. This was like, if you believe in ancient aliens, if you believe in the whole, okay, and now this one has this white slurry stuff. We see this stuff, oh, that's natural, that's granite. I don't know anymore because I can show you these little pockets that are holding this slurry inside it. I believe it's a byproduct of ancient mining. I could be crazy. What do I know? I just have a master's in business. I don't have any now these next ones are the last ones. It's called No Name Road. And by the way, now some new place names are popping up. But I mean, if you check this out, this is north. This is back in South Africa. This whole ridge here has all these weird mountains. I mean, look at that. That's a perfect triangle right there. If you really think that's natural, I'd like to know what geologists can support that. I just feel like it's, especially after I just showed you those other intersections. And that's about it. I mean, there's other stuff going on. Oh yeah, and my mound. I found this mound. I mean, how can nobody Okay, so let's go to my mound, and then I'll give up the desktop sharing, because I think that I'd like to know what people are asking. The way we find the mound, you don't even need to look at anything. We've got this thing called somebody's hook. I think it looks like a testicles and a shaft right there, but there's like these ancient pits, and this thing was one of them. And then I showed you one a minute ago, actually, in Kolyama had one up here. These, like, it seems like they could be related to some type of a leaching pools used for mining. This thing right here. And by the way, there's that isosceles triangle right there. So there's just so much crazy stuff in South Africa. But let me go back down to the mound that I found. There's no way, going back down, you can see the edge of Lesotho. You can see this little hook, and that's what it's called. It's called Gummer's Hook, I believe. And you follow these lines into the mountains, and then you find this other line and follow it back out, and you can find my mound, Stig's mound, I call it, Stig's mound. It's not a very good 3D shot there. Have you seen this before? It's a lot better in the other Google Earth. Let's go there in Google Earth. Whoops. And then I'll give up I'll answer questions, and I'll shut my mouth for a while I'm answering those questions. You zoom into Lesotho, you go to this little hook here, and it goes in, and then it comes back out up here. Motepo. No. It's Stig's mound. Where is it? Right up here. Nobody's got a picture of it. You can literally see a nice 3D version of it in the browser version of Google Earth. I'm hearing crickets, guys. I'm ready to give up my.
I'm trying to see where Stig's mound is.
Yeah, it was unblaring as you were.
It was still rendering.
Oh, okay. Let me center it, and let me turn off all this other stuff. Not there, the layers and stuff. Photos are off, and let's turn off and make it nice and clean.
In the middle.
And there you go. I mean, have you seen this before?
No.
Stig's mound, because Stig built it. Stig of the dump. No.
Oh, wow.
Wow. You guys,
it looks like a
I know,
pyramid.
and it goes right along this line. It goes right along this line right here. The line goes for miles. So how can it not be an ancient road? I call it a road, a ridge. They're very guttural in South Africa. They turn into gutters. Like it turns into like this gutter thing. Was it a road or is it a gutter? I don't know. But the modern day house is there, and the modern day road is there. So these things are a lot wider than modern day roads. And then you've got, get Michael Tellinger on the phone. I've tried to ask him about this. Let me go through the chat. I'm going to start reading some of the chats in the live stream.
Should we get rid of this screen share?
Big mound. Yeah, let me get out of there. If you any questions before I give it up. I showed you the mounds in Mali. It's just, I'll give it up. Stop share. There we go. Hi there.
You said a couple of times that, like, you think these things are 1 million years old or whatever, and, you might think I'm crazy. I'm totally with you, man. It's like humans are a equatorial species. We evolved to live at the equator. And it was only sort of when the last...
Oh, my God. I forgot. I have to share one more thing with you.
Oh, shit. Right,
the ancient equator. But go ahead. Yes, I believe that it was happening along the equator. And we found a new ring. I don't know. Can we just share the screen real quick?
Yeah. I'm waiting.
And then I'm sorry, because I really think this is important. This is one of the newer finds. Okay, let me get back on the screen share. Sorry about that. Besides, I'm just floating. What am I right now anyways? What is that? Okay, let's share the screen one more time. Sorry about that. And let me just show you one last thing. I think this is a crazy discovery, and that's why I want your listeners to know about it. Let me, I got to stop sharing that. Okay, we all know about the ancient equator, right? Mm-hmm. We all know about the ancient equator. We all know that Giza lines up with Easter Island. Do we not know that?
Yep.
Have we? I recently just followed the line. So Giza, let's go this way. And I actually got all the points. So this red one is one single line without any nodes. The purple one, it's hard to make a line going all the way around the globe. And I wanted to see the places in this picture. So I pulled them all up. So I followed this around. And this is the ancient equator where all these sites are. And we can go over that after I stop sharing. But I had to stop at Easter Island, right?
Okay.
So Easter Island is going to through Peru, through a couple places in Peru. Also, there's something here that I think I discovered. But look at this line that I just found. Now, this is going exactly parallel. We've got, the eye of the Richat structure, right? Am I maxing out the screen? You see everything well?
Yeah, we see it. Yeah.
Okay. So now what you may not, and there's that thing I just showed you. Well, there's the ancient equator. So even the Richat itself is located near this ancient equator. But somebody found this. And so we went there. What the F is this? What the F is that?
Whoa.
Okay. It's another eye is what it is. Now, let me just say one thing, and then so I connected the center of the Richat to the center of this thing, whatever this is. And you can see that line is exactly parallel to our ancient equator line.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I mean, pretty damn parallel. More parallel than my parallel canals. Now let's go look at that thing again. There's other stuff, by the way, out here. There's so much stuff out in the middle of the desert, but I promise you. But before we give up the screen share, what the hell is going through that thing? It's a damn ancient canal of some sort. It's pretty. Is that a freaking crater? I guess maybe, but you've got this thing going through it, a fissure, if you would, if you want to go mainstream and say it's natural, going to the exact middle of this thing and then cutting a corner. You've got these other ridges going through there too, which I believe must be unnatural. But this canal goes on for miles, okay? So if you want the screen share of this, by the way, I've been learning how to use it. I'm going to get info, and I'll put that location right in the chat for your viewers. Copy to clipboard. Yeah, so there you go. It's a brand new eye we just discovered.
Wow.
Nice.
What can I say?
The second eye of the Sahara. The monkey eye.
Yeah, and by the way, I did follow this line and I found some other stuff, but I just haven't been able to find anything else like that. There's more, but we're getting to the point. Yeah, there I am. Is that me? Why am I a floating heaven of ether? What is that? Stig is just floating dust.
You've ascended.
I think you're watching YouTube instead of
Oh, I am watching YouTube. What, isn't that the way to do it? What do I got to do? I got to go back to the Zoom.
Yeah, let me just.
Well, we're all good. We're all good, right? We're cool. Let me have that shot. I didn't have any alcohol today, and now it's almost 2. So to the Irish, I don't know why I'm drinking this stuff. I bought this for $20. The Wild Geese Irish soldiers and heroes, not just the soldiers, but the heroes.
The heroes.
So I'll have a shot for you guys.
Thanks.
Because I know that you guys love. You guys even do St. Patrick's Day in the UK?
Yeah, a little bit.
Absolutely.
Okay. I wasn't sure, but people are so weird about it here. I don't know why.
My missus is Irish, so we have to do it, really.
You have to do it. So we've got Stig's Mound. It's not really a mound. It's like a pyramid in South Africa. I want to go there. All my South African friends say that I got to have a guard with me if I go there. It's so dangerous. I'm going to get jacked up. I've got to have somebody with a gun. Okay, here we go. I'm going to chase it with the Steez yerba mate. This is 43% whiskey. So cheers. Happy afternoon or good evening to you guys.
Yeah.
How's the weather out there?
Good afternoon.
Dark.
Yeah, it's dark now. It's what is it? 9:45 now in the UK.
Is it cold though? Snowing yet, or not snowing anymore because the winter's over?
No,
it just rained for 6 months.
we're gonna have we're having an alert from the Met Office because we're having a heat wave next week. It's going to be 20 degrees, so that requires a heat wave warning.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because of global
heat
climate.
wave warning. It was okay. So 20 degrees Celsius is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, right? Yeah. And just yesterday it was 96 degrees Fahrenheit. And it was a big reminder that spring is pretty much over and we're into the summer. But then it got cold again. I was like, oh man, I put these jackets.
Spring hasn't started away
and I had to take them back out.
Spring hasn't started here yet, Stig.
Spring starts on the 21st.
Not in
the
Lancashire.
vernal equinox. I took a picture of it. Even got a shot of it. The sun not coming up, but going down that evening, and it's right in the V because I live right at the V. Like remember I got too much stuff going through my head. What was that whole thing about the chalice and the Holy Grail in that movie that Tom Hanks did? The V.
Oh,
shape.
Da Vinci Code.
I've got that. By the way, are we going to talk about secret societies at all? That seems to be the big old topic, right?
No, fucking, we've been going for an hour and 30 minutes, Stig. Don't bring up secret societies now.
Too late for secret societies. Okay, well, that seems to be the thing.
Can we do that next time?
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about no secret societies. I ain't no Mason. Okay, but I know that Randall Carlson ain't saying nothing. Randall Carlson never tells anything, man. Fuck Randall Carlson.
Sorry, what was that?
Nothing, sir.
Yeah, he is a Freemason. He is a Freemason, isn't he, Carlson?
And I think that's why he doesn't really tell us anything. And you mentioned the Carolina Bays. We should have looked at that under that topographic because that's the thing where Jimmy's not really a Carolina Bay fan. I mean, as far as it being a symptom of the Younger Dryas event, I think they're pretty clear. Something happened, and they're scattered all around Clovis, which is the tribe that just disappeared, right? Or
do you follow Zamora, Antonio Zamora?
Sure. He doesn't like to mess around with the speculations. He's a very serious scientific person. Have you interviewed him?
Yeah. He blew my mind.
Would you agree with me? Would you say he's serious, very serious, not going to be joking around?
Oh, he's not into secret societies. Definitely not.
He didn't wear sunglasses or anything. He
didn't wear sunglasses, and his eyebrows weren't on fire,
and he didn't have a flaming hat on.
Okay, fine. Where's my?
Where's he going?
He's got his cowboy hats.
Oh, cool.
There we go.
Excellent. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. By the way, I wore this to Spain. My Spanish friend said, "Don't wear your hat." I'm like, dude, I gotta wear my hat. It's sunny. I can't do. This is for the sun, right? Yeah. I can't be riding around without a hat. Yeah. Also, I want to make sure people know I'm American when I walk in the room. It's like there's no question this dude's American.
Yeah,
right?
it's like
possibly from Texas.
Without the hat, we'd never know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Stig,
all right. Yeah, guys.
How many?
I didn't even look at the questions. Is there any chance we should at least see if there's any questions before I say goodbye?
Stig, how many care about your viewers. Stig. Yes. How many podcasts have you done apart from ours?
Not a lot. I did these other guys. Kind of a little family. I did. Yeah. What they do is they do the Streamlabs, and then I actually simulcast it on my own channel at the same time.
Oh, right, okay.
So I was thinking maybe you guys could do that as well. And you said you had other platforms. What are your other platforms?
Holy shit! Well, gosh, I'll have to pull up Thingy Bob.
All right, I'll learn about that later. I was just curious. Maybe you wanted to promote them because I just see the YouTube. Oh, yeah, I didn't even realize you had the Facebook.
We're on at the moment. We're on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, Kick, DLive, Trovo, Odyssey, Instagram.
Wow. Now, is that something you're doing through one provider? Are you doing it through multiple platforms?
No, we're daisy chaining because we're cheapskates and it costs a lot of money. So we're daisy chaining, restreaming companies against each other to get the biggest bang for our buck.
Yes.
It costs a grand total.
You're going to publish a book? Oh, buck. Oh, good. For your buck.
A bang for the buck, man.
I used to teach English. I can tell you all the differences between British and American English. Like you guys like to say brilliant and we say cool. See, we use one syllable words.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you say www. when we say World Wide Web.
Well, that I probably wouldn't brag about if I were you. And do you say GIF or GIF? I mean, that's.
I say Jeff.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
It's
Jeff.
It's GIF.
Who's Jeff.
Everyone knows it's GIF. If you're saying GIF, so. You're just
That's also a bathroom cleaning product, isn't it?
Sif.
No, it used to be called GIF, didn't it?
I think that's something British. I think that's a UK thing. Wait. We have Ajax. Go on.
Yeah. Ajax.
Ajax, you mean? Yeah.
What? No.
There's a football team called Ajax.
Oh, that's the other population pacifier is sports.
Yes.
See, we were getting pacified by the you know who, with all this fake news and
Trump
and yeah, that too. It's all party politics. I'm not interested in it. Sorry, guys, I'm not really interested in the sports. Like you talk about football, and I'm thinking Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Yeah,
that's all fake. We know that's a setup. They've never actually touched in real life.
No, he's a beard.
They're gonna do that. That'll be in the only. She's a billionaire now. Anyways, after the rest of my Sunday, it's 2 p.m. here. You're 10 p.m. or you're 11 p.m.
Yeah,
now? 10 o'clock now.
Yeah,
you still got to do the headlines, right?
Yes.
Well, we're not doing headlines this week. We're going to open the phone lines. We're going to take some calls, hopefully.
Amish hotline.
Yeah, it's a hotline this week. So, yeah, we need
to go now.
Yeah, you can call if you want, Stig.
Well, here's the thing. I feel bad. I'll be there. I mean, it starts right away, right? I'll be there because I really feel bad we didn't check all. I love to check the chats. I know there's going to be a few trolls in your chat saying, "Get rid of this super freak." By the way, it's not polite to say the word in England, but I grew up saying spaz, and. See, I don't know your audience very well, but I can't do that anymore. But I was always the super freak spastic one in the friendship circle. But anyways, I just turned off a lot of people.
Thanks.
That's
for
like saying
sharing
retard,
that.
right?
Yeah, you can say retard. Can you?
Well, you can.
I mean,
can you say spaz? Are you retarded? You scared me. You scared me for a second there. I thought one of your parents was busting in the room. I'm like, oh my god, I really did.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, Stig.
Sounded like John Cleese.
It's Brian Blessed. Brian Blessed. It was not John Cleese. Close. But Stig, we're gonna have to wrap this up. My bladder is gonna explode imminently.
And I still have to make my bladder explode. Okay. I'll talk to you guys next time. It was really a pleasure, and thank you very much. You cheered me up. I was not in a good mood earlier, but now I am. Thank you so much.
That's nice to hear. I'll send you send you a download link if you want the video file, the MP4.
Sure.
I'll do it tomorrow.
I want to check these chats too before they disappear. They always disappear. So I want to see if there's any good questions. I'm going to be reading those.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Stig.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.
See you soon. Happy travels.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Whoa, hang on. Oh, I missed it. Oh, I should have said we'll be back in 10 minutes for phoning. If you're still there. If anyone's still there. Ta-ra!